This is from before the revolution? Can I see?
This is before revolution.
That's amazing. This is Ghulam Hussein, whose shop I discovered during my week in Tehran. Over the past 65 years, this place witnessed the most important events in the history of the country. And the personal items forgotten or discarded here are treasured tokens from what Ghulam Hussein believes was a better past. How has Iran changed since that time?
چون از اون موقع که شاه رفت و هویدا رفت ایران شد ایرانستان. خودشون هم گفتن موقع می‌خواستن برن گفت ما میریم ولی ایران میشه ایرانستان. می‌بینی که ایرانستان.
Ruin was not the first word that came to mind when I thought of Iran. Yet the hardships people here face in their daily lives were to populate every single one of my encounters. I traveled to Iran to meet normal people to find out what they expect for the future, just as the country headed into crucial general elections. How are things? How is business today? This is Khorram. He's been driving fellow Iranians around the country's capital for 20 years.
عامه مردم، کارگرها، راننده‌های کارگرای معادن اینا من فکر نمی‌کنم زیاد براشون شده باشه. اونم برمیگرده باز متأسفانه از یه سری ناکارآمدی مسئول. یا مسئولی که نمیتونه کار انجام بده، یعنی واقعا تو قدرت انقدر شیرینه که به خاطر قدرت مدیر شهرداری و وزیری به خاطر تصاحب این شغلا بیاد به کل یه عده یا بخشی از جامعه ضرر بزنه. من نمی‌کنم این کار. اونی هم که میکنه خودش میدونه خدای خودش.
Over the past decade, mismanagement and sanctions have ravaged Iran's economy. Millions are out of a job and have slipped into poverty. The value of the Iranian rial has collapsed and prices are out of control. My fixer set me up to speak to Afshin, a 30-year-old middle-class Iranian who took me to see what spiraling inflation looks like.
It's a daily price. It's a basic daily price.
Basic product.
Yes, basic price. Eggs, milk, it's not a specific one. It's a basic. They are about 4 or 5 more
times more expensive.
Yes.
The government blames high prices on international sanctions over its nuclear program.
They said it's related about sanction, but as you know better than me, but you are enforcer. All the 40 years ago, we said that we are independence from the foreign country. But our basic need is related to us.
The official national currency, the rial, is on display. But everywhere in Iran, prices are discussed in toman, a monetary unit that slashes a zero off prices to make them easier to read and to accept.
A bottle of milk, a bottle of drink, and only 3 usual ice cream. It's a Giste French. It's about 43,000 tomans. And imagine that the worker's salary during a day is only about 150 tomans. So it depends at about 40% of that, only that.
This is where things stood as Iran came to a crossroads. If I wanted a clue of the more hardline direction Iran was about to take, it was right there on the wall. Everywhere I looked were posters of General Qasem Soleimani, Iran's top commander, killed on the orders of former US President Donald Trump. For many Iranians, a hero and a symbol that America cannot be trusted. Anger over Soleimani's killing helped rally hardliners like Sajideh to vote for a more conservative Iran.
So maybe we can go to hospital tomorrow together.
It almost sounded like revenge. So thank you so much for...
رهبر دینی ما وقتی که یک حکم حکومتی میده، تمام مقلدین بر خودشون واجب میدونن که اون حکم حکومتی رو اجرا بکنن. یک بار حکم حکومتی جهاد با دشمنان مستقیم و سلاح بر دست مقابل مردم مسلمان هست. یک بار اون سلاح اقتصادی است. یک بار سلاح اجتماعی و یک بار سلاح سیاسی است.
At the same time that this is happening here, there's something else happening outside of Iran that has a lot to do with your country and will have a lot of implications, which is the negotiations about the nuclear deal. They have restarted. Do you still believe that this deal could help your people, could help Iran in any way?
Help?
Yeah.
Really?
You don't think it does?
از نودوستیشون تشکر میکنیم. این کارم نکنن ما راه خودمون رو با سرعت بیشتری، با دقت بهتری و در سطح بالاتری ادامه میدیم.
So you think Iran is better off without this deal, without these partners?
40 ساله اینو نشون دادیم. در جنگ با دست خالی جنگیدیم، قدرت موشکی رو به دست آوردیم، اون رو صادر کردیم و اثبات کردیم. بدون هیچ انتقال تجربه و فناوری، انرژی هسته‌ای رو به دست آوردیم به همت دانشمندان کشورمون، روش وایسادیم و از این هم بالاتر و بهتر ارتقاش میدیم انشالله.
Sajideh is voting for an Iran that can look after itself, but also to send a message that Iranians can choose their fate.
این انتخابی که دارید انجام میدید شاید اهمیتش بیشتر از ریاست جمهوری باشه، چون که قرار رهبر رو انتخاب کنن.
یقینا همینطوره. ما در اعمال تصمیمات و در واقع عملکرد رهبرمون یک شورای نظارت میکنه و این یعنی چون این شورا با انتخاب مردم جمع میشن و شکل میگیره، این اصل دموکراسی در ایرانه و مردم سالاری در ایران در همه عرصه‌هاش نمایان هست و قابل مشاهده است.
Even before results came out, Sajideh spoke about gratitude and relief, like someone who knows their idea for the future has already won.
وقتی از یه امتحان میای بیرون چه حسی داری؟ شادی دیگه. امتحانم رو دادم، تلاشمو کرده بودم و الان حس سبکی و حس خیلی خوبی دارم. میرم و ادامه مسیر زندگیم رو برم داشته باشم.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Bye.